man, it's really sad, man. The economy is in the garbage right now. People are struggling, businesses are struggling, churches are struggling, and now schools are struggling. Everybody is just struggling. I really hope that, this doesn't lead to more kids going hungry. Got federal funds in order to give all the kids free lunch, which I think is actually dope. The fact that they were all getting free lunch, that's incredible. I never I've never been in a school lunch line to get lunch, like, ever. I've never gotten school lunch. There have even been times where I forgot to grab my lunch box from home, and I just didn't eat that day. Like, I'm being dead serious. If I forgot to bring my lunch box to school, I just didn't eat. And literally, I just would send my friends up there because I knew that they were going in the line to get lunch. I'm like, hey, when you go up there, can you grab me like an extra strawberry milk? And they would do that. Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. And if you're watching this video, you guys just saw an ad for my clothing line designed by Bree. So if you guys want to check that out, the link is always in the bio if you guys want to check out my clothing line. But we're going to be reacting to Free Lunch No More. Parents across North Texas prepare to pay as a pandemic era program begins. Ends. Sorry, I cannot read today. But no, so it looks like there is a school in North Texas that is getting ready to get rid of their free lunch program. And anybody that went to a public school in general, or because I don't know how private schools work, but with public schools, most of them, when it comes to lunch, you can either bring your lunch or buy a lunch at school. But typically they do have a program that you can sign up for, I believe, in the beginning of the school year. You can have your parents fill out a form that basically allows you to get free or reduced lunch. My school had both free lunch, reduced lunch, and then just regular lunch. And so it looks like they're getting rid of free lunch altogether. I do wonder if they have reduced lunch still at all for them, but they're getting rid of free lunch. And this popped up on my recommended, and so I figured that I would kind of just watch just to see what's going on, but also just to touch on just seeing how the state of the economy is affecting so many different things. People, they talk about how grocery bills are going up and how the price of gas is going up, but it really is affecting everything. It really is affecting everything in people's just way of life. And for people that are within that middle income, right, a lot of them are getting hit the hardest. Everyone's getting hit, of course, but I feel like, and lower income. So middle income and lower income households are getting hit the hardest when it comes to inflation, because people are already struggling out here. People already have to budget, really tightly, and are having to make ends meet. And so with the price of everything increasing, and with salaries and jobs not increasing pay, it's just everything's just becoming very inflated, and people just aren't able to afford anything, and they aren't able to live the lives that they're used to living. If you're someone that likes to take trips once a month or something like that, a lot of people can't do that anymore because now their necessities are heavily increasing in prices. And now it's affecting schools because with school lunch, they're having to pay for food, they're having to pay the cafeteria workers. And so if everything is going up and the price of food is going up, it only makes sense that that's also directly impacting schools and the students that have to pay for this food. And so yeah, we're gonna hop right into this, but I really hope that this doesn't lead to more kids going hungry, which if you have a child that was receiving free lunch, they had to have been in a position to where they really needed that free lunch. And so if the lunch isn't free anymore, then I don't know, but we are going to check this out.
Subs and chips, oranges and apples.
There you go. Thank you.
School lunch looks the same every year.
No sauce? Nothing? There you go.
But this year, it could cost you.
Last year was free, which was a big blessing.
Courtney Sandoval is one of millions of American parents who benefited from the federal funds that made lunch free for all public school students for nearly 2 years.
Oh.
That pandemic-era program's now expired. Courtney is preparing to send her 2 kids back to Caddo Mills. And
So interesting. So they had free lunch for everybody. Because they said that the government, they got federal funds in order to give all the kids free lunch, which I think is actually dope. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of schools giving everybody free lunch. Normally, some people have to pay, some people don't, depending on your household income. But the fact that they were all getting free lunch, that's incredible. And again, then that makes a little bit more sense why, with the price of food going up, why they may not be able to do that. But now I don't know if it's because of that, like because of inflation, or if it's because they aren't getting the funds anymore from the government.
knows it's gonna cost her.
I'm looking at like $200 extra a month.
And with the cost of everything up, that adds up quick. Still, Courtney told me she and her husband make too much money to qualify for reduced priced meals.
Something that I've been thinking about is getting a second job on the weekends. And I know we're not the only people that feel like this.
In a back to school survey,
Oh, wow.
49% of you, our viewers, said you feel financially prepared for the school year, but more than half, 51%, said you don't feel financially prepared or fall somewhere in the middle.
Money's tight right now for a lot
Yeah.
of folks.
Money is tight right now.
Liz Raftree is the director of child nutrition for Denton ISD. She and her team traveled to D.C. to lobby legislators to extend the federal free lunch program. Obviously, they were not successful.
We will continue to feed students.
Raftree told me her district will never turn away a hungry child. Kids, as they have in years past, maybe now more than ever, will dip into the negatives in their lunch accounts.
Does the district put that?
Wow.
I guess they do.
Her advice: if you think you might qualify for free or reduced meals, apply through your district and lobby your lawmakers for change. In Dallas, I'm Sydney Persing.
Wow. Yeah, okay, so again, like, I didn't know that it was everybody getting free lunch, which again, that's really commendable, that they were even able to do that. And the parent on there said that, due to her household income, she doesn't qualify to do the reduced or free lunch. And some people might hear that and say, well, doesn't that mean that you have enough money then to afford to pay for your children's lunch? Not necessarily. The way that income is evaluated in terms of what you can and can't afford, it's not always accurate. And the only example that I can go off of that I'm familiar with is college, right? So when it comes to getting, loans and financial aid, whether it's from the school, whether it's from, FAFSA, it's usually based on they ask you to report your income, and then they'll determine how much you can afford, and it's usually very, very inaccurate. It's often very, very overestimated what they can expect you to pay in terms of your schooling, and it's ridiculous. And people say all the time, to get the reduced or free lunch at most public schools, you have to literally damn near make nothing, like 10 grand a year to even qualify. And so those increments that they use to determine who can get free lunch and who can't is usually not very giving in that sense. And so yeah, I'm not surprised at all that she said that she would have to pick up an extra job to afford to, get her kids lunch. And I can't really, because here's the thing, when I went to school, I never bought lunch. I was never I never like I've never been in a school lunch line to get lunch, like, ever. I've never gotten school lunch. A part of that was because I just was really picky, and I only ate particular things. And so, I just always had bagged lunch. I always took my own lunch to school. Literally from the time I was in kindergarten to when I graduated from high school, I always packed my own lunch. There have even been times where I forgot to grab my lunch box from home, and I just didn't eat that day. Like, I'm being dead serious. If I forgot to bring my lunch box to school, I just didn't eat. Like, that's how picky I was. That's how much I was very, like, anti-school lunch. And I know that's coming from a very privileged point of view, but I'm just speaking for me. I never had that experience. I don't even know how much school lunch costs. Like, when I was in school, I couldn't even tell you how much the lunches were, because I never went in that line. I think the only time, actually, no, still no. I still never, because there was a point in time where I really wanted I wanted the milk. I wanted the milk to drink, the strawberry milk. And literally, I just would send my friends up there because I knew that they were going in the line to get lunch. I'm like, hey, when you go up there, can you grab me like an extra strawberry milk? And they would do that. I never went up there. And again, it's partly because I'm picky and partly just because of my anxiety. But yeah, I think it's really sad, man. The economy is in the garbage right now. Like, people are struggling left and right. People are struggling. Businesses are struggling. Churches are struggling. And now schools are struggling. Everybody is just struggling. And, it's just it's crazy. But people that are wealthy and rich, they're not really getting hit as hard. They're still getting hit, but obviously not to the degree that us normal folk or us regular folk that make regular money and regular salaries. They don't get hit as much as we do. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, let me know what you guys thoughts are in the comments down below. Let me know if something like this has happened at your school, or if you've been affected by inflation at all in your household. Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to check out my clothing line if you would like to. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.